Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru Podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanovsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path on a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up.
Greetings, my friends, conversationalists, career gurus, aspiring career gurus, any kind of a guru, or just a regular person like myself, all across the fruited plain. I am honored and privileged to be here with you one more time to deliver yet another episode of the Career Guru Podcast and follow up on our previous podcast regarding our choices or being in debt and not being able to make sound career choices to move forward in life. We spoke a little bit about that just to broach the subject, and I find the subject to be extremely interesting. And I know some of you also have found the subject to be rather interesting, so I'm following up on this. It'll take us a few more podcast to delve into it just a little bit, and I will try to bring some financial wizards to try to help us through this topic, because I know this is a major to-do in the United States. A lot of people are in excessive amount of debt, especially people in the lower economic strata tend to borrow a lot of money from credit card companies which charge upwards of 30% interest rates, which is an awful lot of money. This is worse than loan sharks. The only other who are worse than that are the government. But about that some other time. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how to get out of debt so you can pursue your career. And as always, my bullet-pointed list and simple steps how to get out of debt. Getting out of debt is an amazing thing. Not being encumbered by excessive amount of money that you owe to people who have no business charging you those exorbitant fees is important. Yet you're tied down and you're obligated by various legal instruments to continue paying these fees. So it is imperative that you get out from under this massive burden and pursue financial, educational, employment, career, and otherwise type of freedom that you can only imagine. You know, the framers of our Constitution, people who formed our country, the founding fathers, placed a lot of emphasis on being debt-free and about thrift, about being able to go through life as a country without borrowing any money. Somewhere along the way, we have lost track of this ancient wisdom. And, you know, there's all sorts of interesting information that I've come across about debt with information going back all the way to the ancient Babylonian Empire, where people talk about debt. Yes, all of that is not a new invention. Debt has been around for a very long time, and it has been putting people into basically modern-day slavery without even understanding. Like a frog being boiled doesn't understand it's being boiled until it's gone. So let's talk about some of the simple steps that you can take today. People always say, what's the best time to plant a tree? 30 years ago. When is the next best time to plant the tree? Today. It's time to plant the tree for your financial security and your career goals that will take you to your next level. But being in debt is certainly not going to help you do that. So let's start talking about this. First things first, before you start paying off your debt, make sure that you have a little extra money saved for yourself in case of an emergency. You must always have some money set aside for an emergency. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of money. Even $1,000 for an emergency fund to cover your most immediate needs in case anything bad happens. And emergencies happen all the time. So put aside $1,000 or $2,000 just to cover your basic expenses for a week or so in order for you to be able to focus and regroup if anything happens. And that money is untouchable. Okay, so this is your very, very first step, is to put aside some money for the emergency. And that emergency fund, and I don't mean something in your bank, I'm talking about cash money. I don't care if it's in quarters, but put aside that emergency fund somewhere and you don't touch it. Leave it in a secure location. Because I don't know about you, but I had found myself with my credit cards not working, debit cards not working. Things happen. But since we know that things do happen and bad things happen, and they happen pretty quickly, make sure to have that emergency fund ready to go in cash. Okay. Now, I am by no means coming up with this out of thin air. I have spent some time preparing for this, and I'm going to tell you that there's a lot of people talking about this. I'm not going to promote anyone in particular at this point in time, but I have put together this step-by-step guide based on the work that I have found from other people that I have listened to and heard and read about, or I have read their books. And I can tell you right now that very impressive, and it's good to go. So first things first, put pen to paper and begin to write down your debt. Who do you owe money to? List them, okay? Start from the smallest to largest debt. Do not include things like a mortgage if you have one. If you don't worry about it, okay? But start and listing your debt from the smallest to largest, and I will explain why. If you have a bunch of credit card debts, let's say you have a credit card debt, you owe $10,000 here. Then you have another credit card, you owe $5,000 there. Then you've reached the bottom and you got one of those crazy cards that they give you for $500. List that one first. That's the one you're going to tackle first. Start paying off your debt from the smallest amount to the largest. If you have a bunch of credit cards, maintain the minimum payments due to those cards or to those other lenders, whoever they may be. But the very smallest one, you pay off first. We've talked about these things before, about celebrating small victories. The same applies to putting away your debt. The success of putting away your debt, no matter how small it is, it could be $20, paid off. Knock off that small amount of debt and celebrate that victory. I don't mean by borrowing money and having some kind of outrageous party. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do. And then get on track to paying off the next larger debt that you have. So go from smallest to the largest. And that's why it's important to jot things down on a piece of paper. And of course, maintain course. Maintain course. This is the methodology. It's like a snowball. You begin to roll the debt away from yourself. And next thing you know, you get to that big sucker, that big snowball, the one you can't roll anymore. And you tackle that one. And you make larger than necessary payments. Belt tightening is key. Whatever you did to get yourself into debt in the first place has to be evaluated as you move along. Tighten your belt. Tighten your belt. Do not buy things in credit. Oh, I'll pay it off next month. No. If you can't afford to buy something today, don't buy it at all. I'm not talking about things like your basic staples of food. Okay? But, tone it down. Every nickel and dime counts in this situation. So attack the smallest debt that you have with everything you got. Sell everything you have that you no longer need in the house, whether on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Get rid of anything and everything that you can sell so you can put away that debt. Everything you did to accumulate the debt can be gotten rid of. You have an expensive car, get rid of it. Get rid of the debt. Buy yourself an inexpensive but a good car, something reliable. Look at the most reliable cars out there. The guru used to drive a small Toyota Corolla. It was the best car I ever owned. I paid next to nothing for it, and I drove it for 5 years. That was the only thing I could afford at the time. It was 10 years old, but that car drove and it never broke down. Do not get yourself into a pickle buying yourself a new car. It is a disaster. If you can afford to buy it in cash, oh, absolutely, buy whatever you want. But if you can't, like most people, do not settle yourself with a $500 a month, $600, $700 a month payment for a car. It is a disaster. And don't forget that the crazy insurance rates that you will be paying today too. So a $500 monthly payment on a car, in many cases, translates into another $400 to $600 a month payment. So that's $1,000 you're paying for the car, and that's before you're able to put gas in there. Car, in many cases, is one of the people's biggest issues they have. Oh, it feels so good when you buy it and you roll it off the lot. It smells nice. But soon the smell of a new car wears off, especially when you can't afford to put gas in there to get to your work. So, consider what you have. Get rid of the waste. That 90-inch big plasma TV set that you got for yourself, get rid of it. Make do with 40 inches. They cost next to nothing today. But get rid of those terrible things that got you into debt. I know. We are living in this society nowadays that, you need instant gratification. We all get into that pickle. But in order to make solid decisions without being under duress, as they say, without being under pressure, you must be debt-free. Get rid of, unburden yourself. Living in a high-priced apartment somewhere, find a less expensive place to go. Sometimes that means moving out of the neighborhood that you may like so much and moving somewhere farther away from the center of city, where the rent you could save yourself 50% sometimes. But of course, you have to take a look and see how much it's going to cost you in gas and parking fees and so on and so forth. Sometimes you have to weigh all the pros and cons. But whatever the case may be, make sure you weigh all your options. But get out from under those terrible payments which are killing you. You don't even realize how much of a slave you are to all the things. Do not be attached to your stuff. It's transient. People are far more important. Be attached to people and be good to yourselves, because without being burdened by debt, you will never understand what it takes to be free. So once you're done dealing with all of the stuff that got you into debt, begin to put together a larger emergency fund. Okay? You need that safety net. Build up 3 to 6 months of finances, or enough finances rather, for 3 to 6 months of fully funded expenses. That means your shelter, your food, your immediate expenses that you need to get by. Okay, so all that stuff. So begin to whittle that down. At some point in time, you need to start investing money for your retirement. And I want to tell you that retirement accounts are untaxed. So while you're putting that money away towards your retirement, that goes away from your gross rather than your net, meaning the two numbers on your paycheck. The big number, the gross stands for big, and the net. So that money goes and it's untaxed. So you're saving yourself about 33% that the government is not going to get from you today. So put that money away. Another way to shelter your money is to put money into educational funds. Whether it's for yourself or for your kids, that money is also untaxed. Or rather, it's pre-tax. So, and that money under certain circumstances can be used by you. So begin to find these tax shelters that regular people like us can take advantage of. See, when you're a billionaire or multi-millionaire, there's many ways you can invest your money strategically that you don't get taxed. But we get taxed all the time. So find ways under the law to shelter your revenue that comes in through your hard work. So find ways to put money towards your immediate needs. For example, even opening up a medical savings account. That is also pre-tax. So save the money pre-tax before the government gets their paws on your hard-earned money. And this is not illegal. This is something that the government actually gives you opportunities to do. So take them. Stop by your local accounting office and find out, hey, what can a regular person do to save money on taxes every 2 weeks? Because every 2 weeks, that money will get deducted and will get put into your savings account. People don't think for a second that for when you go to see your primary care physician today, the cost of the copayment is $50. And most people pay it out of their bank account. But why should you? If you have a medical savings account, you can certainly use that one, and it's pre-tax. So think of all these things through. You can pay your dentist, you can pay your chiropractor, and in some cases, even the massage therapist, physical therapist, whatever the case may be. And these funds are pre-tax, meaning you reduce your tax burden by withdrawing those funds directly into these accounts every 2 weeks. So lower your taxes by sheltering your money in these accounts that the government gives you opportunity to have. So you should probably do that, and the good number for it's about 15% of your household income should go towards these retirement funds or healthcare funds. Together, about 15%. It is important because if you're thinking that the government is going to be there to save you when you're 65, now 67, soon to be 70, and you're going on Social Security, well, I don't know if you've been listening to the news. Who knows what's going to happen to Social Security? So save thyself and put money away into your savings, into your 401k plans, the Roth IRAs, all those things that will help you shelter your money today, and you'll be taxed at a much lower rate. So think that through. Saving for your kids' college fund also is a pre-tax thing. So all of these things are important. But once again, I want to make sure you understand paying off those small credit card bills first is probably the most important thing for your morale. As soon as you start knocking the debt away as fast as possible, that's one small payment gone off your radar that you don't have to make anymore. And important, don't forget, do not borrow money to pay off your debt. Oh, it's possible to do it. For example, if you have relatives or parents who are willing to lend you that money interest-free, if they have discretionary funds to give you, by all means. But that money should come from you. So once you get out from there, once you get out from under the debt, you will never get there again because you have worked so hard. You have paid your debt off. You have sacrificed your living arrangements. You got rid of your expensive car. You got rid of your, plasma television set, the big one, right? Then you kept yourself a small one. Oh, heck, the guru doesn't even own a TV set. Everything I ever needed to watch can be found on my telephone. But I digress. I'm just telling you, find the savings somewhere. Sell everything you got to get rid of debt. There is absolutely nothing that you need because that's something sitting in your house that you can live without is costing you 30% compound interest rate every month, not even a month, every 28 days. It is an exorbitant amount of money. It's designed for you never to pay that off. If you're making a bare minimum payment, you will only accumulate more debt. So tackle the small debt first and then go after the next one. By the time you reach your third or fourth layer of that snowball, you are a pro. You have figured out how to save money on food. You have sold everything you had that you no longer need. You switched into a less expensive, more efficient car. You are doing great, and every nickel and dime goes towards putting away your debt. You will be so excited by the time you get to that third and fourth layer of debt repayment. you will be in seventh heaven. I assure you. I assure you, it feels so good to be debt-free. At some point in time, you will own your home outright. And if you maintain the same philosophy, it's going to give you an opportunity to live a better life and a more charitable life. Giving charity is key. It is imperative to be good to people, and that way the universe smiles upon you. Well, that was the Career Guru podcast for today. Next time we'll be together, I will give you some more steps on how to be debt-free and how being debt-free will lead to your greatest successes in your career. And on that note, Career Guru signing off. God bless.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spend time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and/or information about our podcast, email me at thecareerguru@bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, the Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. # the new radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanovsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. # let's career up.